Yo, it's me. It's your friend Evan. I don't have a clever intro today, but I do want to welcome you. It is Wednesday. It is February 28th. It is day 3 of gaming week, and this is the Rise Up Morning Show. All right, let's do it. We're talking about gaming this week, but not just gaming. We're talking particularly about gaming when blockchain is added. It's the secret sauce. It's the perfect recipe for a good time to give gamers more benefits, to give gamers more freedom. Yesterday, we had a wide-ranging panel discussion with our friend Mr. Mac Lorden. Daniel joined us for a little bit, and who knows what we're going to get into today. I see Dave's here. Hey, Dave, good to see you, brother. Good morning to you. Good morning, everybody. If this is your first time joining the Rise Up Morning Show, then I want to welcome you personally. This is something we do every Monday through Thursday, starting at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. Me and my colleague, Alex, answer your crypto questions and explore a theme each week related to blockchain and the future internet to help everyday people understand how this technology is going to make their lives a little different and hopefully a little better. Why it might matter to you personally is what I'm saying. So if that's something you're interested in, or it's something you're skeptical about, then I am especially talking to you because we're skeptical too. We absolutely don't think this stuff is a magic pill. We definitely think it needs helpful regulation and certainly a little more time to come to fruition. So bear with us, ask us your questions, and come hang out. We're going to have a good time. Alex is going to join us shortly. And generally speaking, he and I, we're easy to work with. Happy to be here, easy to work with. It's my professional motto. So let me know where you're watching this morning. Let me know how your morning is going. I've got some black tea here while we wait for Alex. And let me also tell you, if you haven't yet, please be sure to join the Discord if you want to get in touch with more people like us, the Faceless Many, who support this show. It's a free place to be. You can hang out when the show's not on. You can ask questions. You can share what you know. You can just chill and build community. It's a great place to be at discord.gg/the many. And of course, if you're feeling like you're already a little behind as we get talking on this stuff, like we're too far inside and you want to just learn the basics, like what is cryptocurrency? How do I even start using it? Is there a safe way to start using it? What steps do I need to take? Then I recommend you check out our YouTube page. It's Faceless_Labs. We've got a ton of helpful links there, all under the theme Web3 101. And of course, me and Alex both have a lot of free to give us a follow. Leave your questions in the comments and tag along for what I promise you is going to be a great adventure behind the scenes of this wild and wonderful world we call Web3. Alex, my man, how you doing?
Good morning.
Good morning. That's what I like. That's what I like. When Alex is here, he's got a hat on, he's got some books behind him, he's got his coffee getting poured. All in the world is as it should be. I had sort of I won't say chaotic morning, but I woke up earlier than I expected. I know you did yesterday, and I bet you did today too.
Sure did.
But I got to tell you, when my world is shifting and my feet aren't on steady ground, Alex, you're like you bring some regularity to my morning routine, and I really appreciate that,
Oh,
man. Makes me feel like everything's going to be okay.
yeah, yikes. Um, I mean, I guess that's what I'm here for. I did get up very early today, and I've just been reading, standing. I watched a little Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Standing. I like that standing is like an activity that you did.
Well, it's because I'm in too much pain to be in any other
Oh,
position. So
is
I
it your
just have
back,
to.
man?
It's well, yeah, it's my back. It's into my knees now because that's how sciatica works, and then today, because I've been compensating for the back, now what always happens next is my neck goes. And so right now I've got the like between the shoulder blades and then like up the side of the neck.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I'm sorry to hear it, man.
it's fun.
Yeah.
Super
You've
fun.
got you've got you've got almost three and a half decades you're ticking towards, which is just enough time to put your life together so your body can fall apart.
Well,
That's what I heard someone say one time. It stuck with me. Well, we don't have to
I've
talk about it. We don't have to dwell on
I've
it.
got
In case you missed it, Tori says you are officially a coffee influencer. She has been wanting to get a setup like that. I have visited it in person and can confirm it is impressive and also produces great results. The coffee there is delicious. Have you tried my butt coffee yet?
Obviously. It's pretty
uh,
good. It's not a bad one.
it wasn't bad. I didn't enjoy the taste of it. I only enjoyed the feel of it. And I have got to say, pro tip, if you've never exfoliated with coffee, salt, and lemon juice, give it a try. This is your sign. I was advised by a doctor to do that. How you know? How you know it's the real thing? Or maybe not, depending on what you believe. Oh, you know. Hey, Alex, Tori wants to know, do you hike your leg while you're sleeping? Which I assume means like one leg up like that. Do you do that? Did you see it? Do you hike your leg while you're sleeping? Tori says that inflames her sciatica.
I lay in whatever position I can get a modicum of sleep that doesn't cause me the most pain possible.
I'm curious. Do you tend to sleep in one position? Are you a back sleeper? You look like a back sleeper.
I now trained myself to sleep on my back. I never used to.
Yeah.
I sleep like a corpse, totally straight, with my hands usually over my chest, laying perfectly still and straight, and then I move as much as needed, and then usually once every 3 to 4 hours I get up because I can't lay that long.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Well, you know, here's to you. Here's to your pain. May it grow less and less, and may every good thing grow greater.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't a very good toast. What did that Majestic, our regular viewer, says? A smart man said something once. A wise man said nothing. So,
well,
what do you say?
in other news, Bitcoin's almost $60,000.
Wow. What are you going to do?
Not
Are
wild.
you going to sell it all? Move to Mexico?
If we hit all-time highs, yeah, I'll probably, sell some.
I have been seeing a slew of videos from a lot of people talking about how they are selling entirely. They're selling totally out. And sometimes they're saying, I'm selling, I'm not coming back. Sometimes they're saying, I'm selling, there's an imminent crash before the bull run resumes. The only thing certain is uncertainty. Are you seeing anything valuable in the conversation?
No, I never do. Here's the thing. If you've done this for long enough, you have to basically decide something about the way that you're going to invest in this shit. And it sounds really easy when you lay it out like this, but what you need to do is decide, like, do you believe in it in the long term, or are you looking to drive yourself insane?
Yeah.
If you believe in something for the long term, like Bitcoin, waking up to a 20-30% crash is just like, okay, we're going to close all this and we're not going to look at it for a while. If you don't, and you're a trader, crypto will keep you awake and keep you stressed forever, in perpetuity. It's really tough. And I've been doing this for years. And even so, like the other day, I bought a little bit of something, like an inconsequential amount of something. And then I was obsessively checking the price every 20 minutes for the next how many hours. And then finally I reminded myself, I was like, you know what? This is miserable. This is so stressful. And it went like up 2%. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. And I just sold it. Cause I was like, I'm not trying to go back to this. So I don't have a ton. I pretty much just have Bitcoin and a little bit of Eagled still and Avalanche. And I don't even really have any Ethereum anymore. I have like a little bit of Ether sitting in, like a gas wallet.
Yeah.
Nothing that I would call an investment. But like, I don't know. I woke up and I saw another video today. It was like 80% market crash incoming. Remember that you're all morons if you don't listen to me. And remember that I was a genius last year and the year before. Talked about some shit that never happened. and then, pontificated for like a whole 5-minute video. And I'm just like, dude, this is why this stuff is so toxic. Everything is exploding right now, just for the record. Like, let's look at the 7-day charts for like pretty much everything. Dude, even XRP is up almost 10% over the week.
Yeah.
Bitcoin 17%, Ethereum 14%, BNB 11%, Solana 8%, like Ton 30%, Uniswap 50%. Like everything is that's just what it's all doing.
Well,
right
and
now.
it's not just crypto, but I actually just saw the headline. Sure. I'm sure you saw it here too, that in stocks, Coinbase has now flipped Ford and General Electric in the pump.
Pretty I did not see that. That's quite
not unprecedented, certainly, but or surprising. But the question is, what's the time horizon? A lot of people in the comments, I don't know if you saw, are saying, it's a long one, just like you. Tori, Mashiste, they said, my Bitcoin is not for me, it's for my grandkids. And I don't know that I feel that way personally. Like I have, like you, I've bought enough of it long enough ago that it's important for me to, probably sell some of it now to take some profits. But also, for the most part, when I'm looking at cashing out, is so far in the future that it's probably not going to matter if I forget to do it right now, kind of thing,
I mean, well, that's kind of the idea, right? Like theoretically, if what you want to see happens, you wouldn't need to. What's the Back to the Future? Like where we're going, we don't need roads. Where we're going, we don't necessarily need to sell our Bitcoin. And yes, I'm sorry, I should have not used the word everything. There's always something that doesn't go. There's my point was that there is most stuff is moving right now. But last point, I mean, you never know which one is going to be the one that just like rips for no reason. Look at Bitcoin Cash is up like almost 20% on the week for no reason at all. Makes absolutely no sense. Like it's a useless thing that just happens to always be one of the first things through the door.
Kind of a study, a very small one, a couple weeks ago. Somebody was talking about Bitcoin Cash, and I was looking at the history of it to prepare for something else because it's got an interesting history in our space. And what's interesting about it, if you're a historian and or just like an anthropologist and you're a nerd, you want to go back and look at some of the forums, the Bitcoin forums around the time that the Bitcoin Cash split happened. Essentially, there was a network hack. There was disagreement about how the record should be going forward. And the people who wanted to reset it, that became Bitcoin. The people who were like, no, let's leave it, that became Bitcoin Cash. And the discussions people had around that, the reasons why they believed what they believed and what they wanted to do, as well as like the democratic process of actually reaching consensus, I think it's honestly like it's a thrilling moment in the plot of Bitcoin. When they make the TV show about it, they'll definitely dramatize it and make it more engaging than it probably really was. But the story you can piece together, the characters involved, it's certainly an interesting rabbit hole to fall into, the Bitcoin Cash split.
Dude, Theta, 80% on the week.
Wow. Somebody in the comments had said Jasmy and Polyswarm, something else, which Jasmy I'm familiar with, but I'd never heard of Polyswarm, and so I was just curious. It's always so interesting to see, what does and what doesn't.
Yeah. I will say, like, I do have a different attitude about, a bunch of, the smaller altcoins, and one other kind of like middle ground that you can exist in is actually something that I've picked up just from listening to Michael, which is, the time that you will get wrecked is the time that you get greedy. So his whole point, I forget exactly how the math worked out, but he was just like, you only need to make 5% so many times before you've doubled your money.
Yeah.
And 5% swings happen in crypto every single day in the bear market and in the bull market. So if you stop holding out for like the 5x or the 10x or something, and you're willing to like swing trade little bits for smaller amounts, then the day doesn't really matter. It's like, okay, hey, we're up 3% today. I'm going to sell it because, it's probably going to come down at least a percent or two, and then I'll buy it again. And just those like little teeny increments, you do that just like over the course of time, like it does build up. But one thing that crypto has done to me, like mentally, when it comes to my investments, is put the thought in my head like something is not worth my time unless I'm like quintupling money on something.
Yeah.
Which is obviously just, not a good way to look at it. And will more often lead you to getting wrecked than not. So like if I was looking at things in my portfolio, and what's cool is that these are projects that I've like heard of that I know are doing something semi-legitimate, like Arweave, which is a storage thing. It's kind of cool. I think that one's worth reading into. But like right now, I'd be hyper cautious because it's up 70% this week, and if something that I had invested in was up 70%, could it go to up 80, up 90? Possibly. Is it more likely that something will correct? Maybe. Who knows? I don't know. Nobody knows. But like that's the time when I'd be like, oh, okay, it's not a 2x, but like that's a lot. Go back to like traditional investing in the stock market and see what happens to somebody when all of a sudden their stock portfolio is up 60% in a week. You're probably going to like look to secure a little bit of that rather than just like watch it disappear. And I have watched a lot of money that I had disappear when markets crash. So just one of those things. The longer you get exposed to it, the more jaded you get, but also you have to just kind of, keep that in the back of your head that these numbers are ridiculous and we are spoiled.
It's funny too. I wanted to ask you about something. I wonder how effective the kind of help we offer is for people who are totally new. You know how sometimes Kip will come on our show for an example, and he's like, "You guys are, so far into it that a guy like me on the other side, he's like kind of my avatar." But I've been having a lot more conversation with my dad recently because he's become crypto curious. The short story is after he heard some CEO somewhere, some hedge fund, I think it might have been Larry Fink, somebody talking about, was that you?
My so this
It was your gimbal, I'm sure, but it sounded like you were like ing Larry
no
Fink. It was pretty funny.
the new phone is like a little bit bigger and heavier than the old one, and my gimbal's like really upset about it, and it keeps
Farting in protest.
like growling at me. It's like I don't like this.
Well, it doesn't like Larry Fink, I guess. Anyway, so my dad gets into it, and I've been talking about it for a long time. And I'd like to think, my dad and I, we have a strong relationship. He takes what I say seriously. We love each other, da 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 da. But he comes to me, he's like, Evan, I want to learn more about this stuff. I know you are into it, but I don't know. And I'm like, okay, great. So over the last couple of months, we've had many conversations. And it's clear to me the quality of information. My dad's like a great litmus test. Totally average, middle-class American guy. Gets ads on the internet, sees mostly the hype and the unhelpful news about crypto. And so I have endeavored as succinctly and urgently as possible to like tell him, no BS. This is a great test subject. Here's what to do. You're asking me. Here's what to do. Here's what to learn. Go read this. Here's what to do. Go do this. And we've had several conversations about, okay, what are the steps? What are the steps to buy crypto? And there's always like 2 or 3 questions. And I got to repeat myself a lot because it's new stuff. So I'm trying to be really patient. And my dad is too. And the 3 steps I have for him, I boiled down to, go on Coinbase, buy $5, turn it into US dollars, and get it back in your bank. That's step 1. Step 2 is play with the app called MetaMask. And then once you have some cryptocurrency and you've sent cryptocurrency from Coinbase to MetaMask, you've bought and sold different types, then I want you to get a ledger. Like that's where we're going, right? From easiest maybe to most secure, but still easy. I just don't want to scare them off. But yesterday, and that's not just all I tell. I like walking through it. I give them the Evan spiel. It's a spiel. Lots of questions back and forth. And yesterday he texted me. he said, well, I bought my first crypto on Coinbase. I said, great. I said, what'd you buy? He said, I bought $100 each of ETH and Dogecoin. And I was like, come on, Dad. But, now I said, okay, great. Okay, go get the MetaMask app, and I want you to send some of that ETH, just a little bit, to your MetaMask, and then send it back. He's going to learn about gas fees. You know what I mean? But I said all that to say, like, I think I was pretty clear, and I get it. He's his own guy. I want him to do whatever he, don't just take my word for it. Verify it. Try it for yourself. But we've made a lot of mistakes. I'm a have to do it myself to learn from it kind of guy. I worry that as clear and emphatic as I can be, that even someone like my dad is still going to end up buying $100 of Dogecoin, and like it'll be okay if he loses it all, if it all goes to zero. That's not, it's more than $5.
I think,
but he's excited. He's going to make some mistakes that could be avoided, and it hurts me because I know a lot of people are doing that, and I know we want to save people pain. You get where I'm going?
yeah, but I think that human nature is human nature. Memes are a thing, and I would just cater the methodology of my lessoning to whatever someone was inherently inspired to do. So if they want to participate in the meme and dude, Pepe's up almost 200% in the last week. For what reason? Because Pepe is Pepe. But I would just basically say, just what I've always said about memes. Just understand what it is that you're buying. You're not participating in a 401k asset. You're playing a game, and that's fine because you can win money at this game. If you play it properly and you pay attention. So, if you notice that you are up and you have a lot of profit, then consider taking it off of the table and waiting for it to come down, because these things are fickle and it will probably swing around a lot. Conversely, if you look at it and you realize that you're down, don't just quit and guarantee that you lost your money. Just wait, because this makes no sense. It's dumb, and the internet is a fickle thing. You're not investing on something that's this new patent just got approved and they just signed a deal with blah blah blah. It's like someone just said he's about to be Elon's biggest fan. A celebrity just mentioned the name on Twitter for no reason. Let's double in price. I think that's it. Just be able to draw the distinction. That's the biggest misconception about crypto, just for the record, is that they're all the same thing, just with different names. They're all wildly different. And you just have to understand, what you can buy any one of them. I couldn't care less. Someone mentioned dog with hat. That's a hilarious meme.
That would be great.
I said, Pepe, if you just look at where am I on the list, I'm at the high 50s by market cap. So you have Flow, Arweave, Aave, Helium. Every single one of those is completely different. And different things would theoretically make each of those perform poorly or better. However, they're all obviously very married to each other, and no one really thinks about the differences. But in a bear market, in a bearish time, or in a confused time like now, you have outliers. So just whatever one you decide you want to buy, you just have to look at it and you have to determine okay, what even is this thing? What narrative, what piece, whatever is going to influence its price? And if it's just kind of a low, no-name general crypto, then it's just going to do whatever the whole market does, maybe with a couple exceptions here and there. If it's a meme, when something funnier happens, it's going to do poorly when nothing is really going on and everyone's bored, or everyone feels like they just missed out on something. That's the other time that memes will go. I've noticed that if you missed a huge gaming pump or AI pump and everyone's pissed about missing out on the AI pump or whatever, after that memes typically go because they're man, fuck this, I'm buying Pepe. And then they can control that. And that's the nature of the internet, internet, what's the word I want here? Internet obstinance, or stubborn.
The persistence of the internet?
No, the nature of the internet to defy authority. So if someone in charge is hey, you guys are gonna I'll go do this thing, and the internet's like, no, fuck you, we're gonna do this, we're gonna make a frog coin instead. Then that's kind of, you know, that's
Yeah,
that's
I
where
mean, and
I
I
see
I
memes
understand this,
memes
and I
being a thing.
also I hear the wisdom of like, you got to figure it out. And I like what Tori said in the comments about how people learn through play. I don't want to rob anyone of their experience, and I recognize that experience, like getting him to start doing stuff, is the best possible way for him to learn. I could give the most riveting lecture, uh, and it would never be as effective. The idea that you got to do some stuff yourself. You got to make some mistakes, and I saw someone else. That was you again, Tori. A quick PDF slick sheet, simple tips, different levels of knowledge. So I have a PDF that I have started that we want to do for the show as like a freebie giveaway just for anybody. We want to have lots of resources for people to stumble into whatever kind of learner they are. And the challenge is how how involved do you want to be? That was another good piece of feedback we got from Kip. Was you might have people who go ahead.
Bitcoin just crossed 60,000.
Well, hooray! Cheers to Bitcoin.
Isn't that something?
That's something. I kind of hope we can get a live on the show that the halving occurs. I hope we can get that to happen live on the show. That would be bullish. I would be excited about that. If like, oh, we're going block rewards reduced. Here we are. I would be excited about that. But the PDF problem is like how involved does someone want to be? Somebody who's watching our show, Dave's out there collecting POAPs because he sees the future of it. Other people he talks to are like, a what? He's
Yeah.
into it. We're into it. Tori, you're curious about it in a particular kind of way. My dad, I think, is really interested in speculating, which is totally fine. And then there are some people who are like, just call me when it's easier. Also fine. It's difficult to figure out from our perspective. I'm kind of a nerd about it. If I was that other person, what would I need to know? So, work in progress, but definitely something that'll help. I appreciate everyone's feedback on that because it's my dad, man. Alex, did you see this comment from Ryan? I was just looking at this and I asked for clarification about the Supra airdrop. Ryan, I left you a comment. The airdrop I know about is Supra oracles, and it's like when I say I know about it, I mean I searched it on airdrops.io after you mentioned it because I hadn't heard of Supra, and I see like 13 people have talked about it, which doesn't mean it's not available. Just means it's not particularly notorious. By the way, airdrops.io is a good, safe site to start practicing on chain stuff. If you want to start doing stuff on the blockchain and maybe earn some tokens, just like Coinbase Learn and Earn, this gives you a lot of step by step, person verified stuff to do. It's better to pick airdrops that people have vouched for a lot because there is the possibility that someone will list an airdrop that they want you to stumble on that the moderating team hasn't caught yet that might have a bad link or something like that, but they're pretty good. um, yes, that one, Ryan says. Alex, you want to do the Q&A and I'll give you the 2-second look on this. If I read it for you, can you help me look into it?
Sure.
Okay, so this is
The,
Supra.
the other,
The other what?
I was just going to say the other thing that I just noticed is that the fear and greed index is currently at 80, which is pretty toasty.
I honestly am surprised it's not higher. 80 being greed, right?
Yeah. Well, I think that I don't know. I was trying to think about this earlier. Like, if I had to make some sort of internal prediction for myself, like, are we going to hit the all time high with it? And I'm always inclined to think like, we really want to hit it. Like the crypto community really wants to hit a new all time high for Bitcoin. So that means that it's semi likely to happen. However, I could also totally see a scenario where like it gets close and then everyone's like, okay, well, even if we do, like, I'm okay missing out another 0.5%. So I'm just going to I'm gonna take everything off the table now, because once we cross the all-time high, then we're probably gonna correct, right? Because then at that point, every single person on Earth who holds Bitcoin is in profit, which means that it's very likely that someone takes money off the table.
Big time.
Someone impactful. So I don't know. I mean, but that's why I never make price predictions, because like I could totally see both of those things happening and neither one would surprise me. So like, how the hell am I going to sit here and tell you like, nah, it's this one's more likely? But anyway, Supra, yes, hit me.
Yeah, Supra. So their website is actually like I wonder if you'd look at their website. It's supra.com. And I'm like a Toyota Supra, you know.
Yep.
And I'm gonna look at this airdrop site. The airdrop URL is supra.com/blastoff. So they are really pushing this thing, complete with rocket emojis and a leaderboard.
Dude, how the hell did they get this domain?
I absolutely don't know. Probably some money. That's why I'm hoping you'll tell me, a little more about the chain or the platform itself.
Okay, so for the record, I've never heard of this or looked at it before, so this is all first impression.
Right. And it looks like it's backed by a company called Entropy Foundation in Switzerland, so I'm going to look at them too. By the way, this is if you're new to researching crypto projects, Alex and I always like to go to official linked websites, official linked socials, and one of the things I'm looking for is your company, who's behind it? Who's really truly behind it? That was the first thing I was looking for. I scrolled all the way to the bottom. There's a disclaimer, and it lists Entropy Foundation in Switzerland and a registration number. So that's where I'm going next. They've got a Discord here. I mean, it looks like kind of a degen appealing airdrop. They've been covered by Cointelegraph, which means they've paid to play.
Yep.
And from what I can tell, Alex, tell me if this is true from their website when you see it, is it looks like they're on the road to launch. Like they've got a vision and probably a paper, but I don't know that they have done anything yet. This is a 2022 article though, so
yeah. So I'll preface this by saying that I'm very critical of pretty much every crypto project.
Me too.
Because like, if I look at this website, this to me looks like, I don't know. I don't like it, but I always want more. I want like someone to explain something to me the way that they would try to connect with a user base to convince people that like this is a project or this is a tool that has appeal for the masses. Because think about it this way, that actually this is a really good example. I was just talking to my dad about hosting multiplayer networks for games. And one of the things that he was talking about was how you can just use Amazon to get started. All of these big, especially Amazon has a free tier, and you can get like at least some going, and before you have to start paying for it, and then it'll scale with it. If you look at like the Amazon developer toolkit, like toolbox, it's incredible the shit that they have on there. No one cares about that unless they are a software developer that needs one of those specific tools to build something that they're building. So why all of a sudden does everyone who likes crypto think that the thing that's going to get mass adoption is just like a mediocre developer toolkit? Because that's what this is. This is like this project, and this is nothing against it. It could be great at what it does, but like this project is for developers. This is a software developer's toolkit, and it's hyper niche. So like no one who's building stuff is going to go to something like this as their first choice. The only people involved in this are investing in the speculative potential of the coin to go up. Probably because of the airdrop, I would guess. But like all the information that I've managed to get from this so far is truly decentralized. I'm going to call bullshit on that. Lightning fast speeds, toughened security, massive scalability, natively interoperable. And it's like, okay, I we need more because every crypto project puts those things on their bumper sticker. That is the go-to, like, print a brochure template for every crypto project. Cookie, it's called Supra. Supra. They have a giant airdrop coming, I guess.
Yeah, and just I will say too, I agree with everything you said. I always want more. The thing I like most on their website is they have sort of a underneath the headline, supercharging Web3 for a better decentralized future. They've got like three value propositions. They say oracles. They talk about how your data feeds stay up to date with full finality in under 2 to 3 seconds. Like that's a data point I want.
Mhm.
But then what I want is, I'm sure it's under the learn more. I want to see, how do you compare to Chainlink, who's the industry leader? Are you cheaper? Are you different in a way that I can easily, quickly understand? Like, I'm with you 100%. There are four people, reading this website who would be like, wow, that matters for me. But if they can
Yeah.
make it matter for me, they clearly have a lot of marketing. This
But
Cointelegraph piece they did is a great press release. That is an inside piece that they've paid to publish, but it's got some really good numbers on it that make them look great.
I have it's a different kind of opinion though, because like everything that I just said means nothing with regards to like what the token price could do. So if you're looking at this and you're not a developer and you're like, I'm trying to find, a good looking investment that, could make me some money, but I don't care about the developer tool side. Like that's not why I'm interested in this toolbox. Then my opinion means next to nothing, because I'm always looking at this like, long-term potential, mass adoption of this. Like Evan just said, why the hell would Chainlink not just make a small software update and keep the fact that they have every partner on the face of the earth already using their Oracle service? Like, why would everyone just switch to Supra? Or, does everyone need to? Is it going to be self-sufficient with just like a few clients? Like maybe it's trying to serve a different market than Chainlink is going for. They do have a lot still to do. I will also say, like, so far, I'm still looking through the website. They have a ton of information. Like if you go to the dev center and you start digging through the dev docs, they have a lot of stuff. Like,
Well,
so
and I
they're
did some
not.
digging on this finality thing, and apparently that's a huge deal. I know finality is a big deal, but the two
Yeah.
to 3 second compared to Chainlink, for example, is much faster. So if they could fulfill these promises, that could be, it could be a great company on the rise. And what I want to say for the airdrop farmer is they have clearly designed this airdrop initiative to engage people who want an airdrop. It is well marketed. It is robust. I'm surprised more people don't know about it, but they're trying really hard. So it will probably be a competitive airdrop, and you may have to grind for it. But based on the amount of money it looks like they've raised and their commitment to getting attention for their project, I think it could be worth your time if you're farming airdrops, definitely.
Here's the other thing to keep in mind. Whenever you see anything like this, so like I said, the target audience for this as a service, I'm not at all talking about the investment. I don't care about the investment at all for what I'm about to say. This is exclusively as a product, because that's, according to their website, that is what they are first and foremost. They are a developer's product. When any project, not just Supra, we'll use them as an example, but any project has an airdrop coming, there is exactly one reason that they do the airdrop. 1.5 reasons. One, they want to get the token into people's hands so that people use it.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care about using it as much as they care about trading it. They want people to trade it, because most of these things don't need a cryptocurrency to function, but it's a really great way for a company to raise money. Usually, the criteria for getting the airdrop is that you use the service or the tool or the product or the protocol somehow. Like the Gito airdrop on Solana. You had to stake Solana with a particular staking service provider in order to qualify for it. I don't know what the airdrop with this is. I bet I could.
I'll give you number one. Step number one to earn tokens immediately, guaranteed. Give us your email.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. So no, did you look at it? Because that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. They've got it's a very clear ask for email. And at this point, they're offering 25 stars, which affect like the leaderboard in other future airdrops, and 490 super tokens right away. You
Yeah.
know, it's a much more efficient, effective way. We're always talking about how Web3 is gonna help you reach your best customers faster. Like this is way better than sign up for my email. It's let me give you some tokens. What's your email address? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, duh.
So so right, they there's all of these, there's criteria to qualify for the airdrop. Okay. So the other thing is that what I guarantee this company is doing right now is they're building to the airdrop. They are getting hype. People are starting to advertise for them. You can get free marketing on social media by getting an airdrop, because then everyone who wants the airdrop is usually incentivized via the airdrop to promote you. So all of a sudden you're slashing your marketing budget by a tremendous amount because you have free marketing from 30,000 random people on the internet. And that is way more effective than like banner ads on Twitter.
Yeah.
So that's another big bonus, a reason why they do this kind of stuff. The thing to keep in mind is that after this airdrop happens, 99.9% of the people who receive the airdrop are not the target audience for this as a product. So they're going to be incentivized to just get rid of it, because to them that's free money. They're not married to that bag. They don't care that it's not like up 900x from where they bought it, because they didn't buy it. They got it for giving their email address and shilling it to their friends. So airdrop happens. You always see this. You can check me on this. Go back and look at anyone who's ever done a launch, an airdrop, a token with a pre-sale, whatever. It rips on launch because everyone's trying to get in real quick and really early for a quick flip, and then it dumps into the core of the earth. After the airdrop, you have the people who got the airdrop offloading tokens systematically until the end of time. You then have a tool that only appeals to like 400 people on Earth. And once the airdrop is done and over, and all of those people have now moved on to the next project advertising an airdrop, they don't care about the project anymore. It's just like a rinse and repeat kind of thing. So if you're into something like this, I would say get out as quick as you can with whatever you can, because that's what people are going to do. And there is no reason for 99.9% of them to come back unless they were trying to speculate on another piece of hype that this company was doing. But no one's going to come back to like re-get their super token so that they can use this network for like as a utilitarian toolkit, right? They're going to go back and do something else. Case in point, Ethereum is still a thing, even though usability on it is dog shit compared to every other more scalable blockchain on the planet. Like, it's slower and more expensive. It's two things that should be a killer for it, but it's not. And it's still the second most used by institutions network in the entire crypto space. That should tell you all you need to know about whether or not something like this is going to just dethrone Chainlink in a 1, 2, 3, 4 years even. Because I mean, how long has it been?
There may be a world where they don't directly compete. They coexist, like the T-Mobiles and Verizons of the world that compete with each other, but work together to advance the mission of wireless. You know, that's a very real possibility. I would like to know what you think about this in terms of, and I want to ask Cookie in the comments too, who says that finality seems like something you say to appeal to unintelligent people, which I appreciate the wording of, by the way, because it implies I'm unintelligent, and I'm willing to take it. I'm not the smartest fruit on the tree, or light bulb in the box, or whatever they're saying.
No, but you're aware that finality is a buzzword. That's what he's saying.
Definitely a buzzword, but it's also, I think, I'm curious to know what you think about it. It is critical for people who are actually going to use blockchain to do blockchain things, to verify the credibility of information, to make it immutable, to share it with people who need to know it probably now. There are lots and lots of industries where up to the minute data is important. And if we had up to the second data, it would allow us to take steps forward. I think that's a big deal. And I'm just curious, do you, Alex, or do you, Cookie, think it's not as big of a deal as I think it is? Or are you just saying that it is also, in fact, a buzzword, like decentralized?
No, it is a buzzword, absolutely. And it's also a big deal. Finality is important. However, it's only important to something operating at scale. finality doesn't matter when you're just talking about like, the capacity for this potentially useless thing to do something quicker. My example there would be like, okay, Visa or MasterCard, right? Like a service like that would require something with higher finality because they have, a gajillion people doing a gajillion things all at once. There it really matters.
Yeah.
However, not everything needs to have sub 1 second finality, and tons of people get along just fine. Like the real world example of that would be like, would you, the user, be like really pissed and heartbroken if you went to the grocery store to pay with your credit card and instead of taking 1 second for your transaction to go through, it took 3.5 seconds to go through? Because I don't think you would notice.
Yeah.
Ryan, this was a really good like launch point for like a whole bunch of important stuff to talk about. So thank you for bringing it up. I do want to hit something Cookie said too about, Cardano is one of the few projects properly managed, not built on hype. I would push back, and I say this being a fan of Cardano and appreciating what Charles has contributed to the space and appreciating their methodology, and as a very long-term holder of a non-insignificant amount of Cardano. And to this day, still like it, still one of my favorites for a whole bunch of reasons, which we could get into a whole other time because I don't want to preach. But they do have hype. They have a different kind of hype. They have a hype where they have a founder who is able to charismatically present the case for why blockchain and Web3 and decentralization really matters. And what he has done is invigorated a huge amount of people that do all of the hype and marketing for him. They never have to because Polkadot is the same thing. Have you ever seen Gavin Wood talk about his token price? He never has. And I would be surprised if he ever did. What Gavin Wood has done is give a TED talk where he shows how fast it is for you to set up something using Substrate on a fresh out of the box MacBook Pro, right? And Charles is very similar. Charles will sit there and he'll talk about the massive implications of decentralized finance options in underprivileged, unbanked nations with large amounts of very impoverished people. And he'll paint a great picture of like, what could this kind of technology do for those people? When they did I can't remember, Evan, maybe you remember the specifics, but the decentralized tokenized student transcripts for kids in one country that I can't remember. Was it in the Congo?
I don't remember that at all.
I would have to look. It was somewhere in Africa, and there was a Cardano-led initiative that basically tokenized the school transcripts for students, so that they could actually like take it with them, because something that happens all too often is that kids who make progress in school don't have records of the school that they've gone to, and then they don't have any way to prove that they like have an education. So that was like a big initiative. But that kind of stuff has nothing to do with token price. It's just like really important. That's why Cardano has hype. Cardano has their own hype because they have catalyzed a base of people that they have convinced are like the most intellectual in the crypto space. So you get held up and made to feel really good about your investment because of all of these altruistic, philanthropic endeavors that the company has undertaken. And then you can go off into the world and spread that for them. It's a much more expertly run marketing campaign, but do not get it wrong. It is a marketing campaign. It is absolutely a marketing campaign for their services.
Cookie says, for everybody watching later, I can appreciate that point of view. You're right. The fans hype the project because they see the vision. It's the difference between trying to hire the best people for your company or trying to build like a movement that will just attract the best people who work for free.
Well, I'm a little worried that it sounds like, and Evan, tell me if this is off base. I feel like it sounds like I'm kind of shit talking the idea of marketing in general, and that's not what I'm trying to do.
No, I don't think so. I think it sounds like you're drawing a distinction between the kind of marketing that is being done here, which is like, I'll give you tokens if you give me your email, and then I have some tasks for you that will include sharing my project in order to get more to. That's not. It's a distinction, big time distinction.
Yeah, because I think all the time, like I have products that I use with a brand, I'll say our famous line. It was funny that Max said this because it's true. This isn't sponsored, but it could be Hydro Flask. Like, so I've had this Hydro Flask for years. It's been
Is it
on
wearing a hat?
deployment. Well, no, my coffee filter is just sitting on the top of it. Um,
I was like, he and his hydro flask, they got little matching hats.
I'm gonna tie this back to crypto and Web3, I promise. But like this mug is awesome. It's very sturdy. I've used it for many years. It's been on deployments with me. It has flown into. It's literally flown into a hurricane with me. Like Hydro Flask, get at me because I'd be an epic spokesperson, and you should sponsor the show. However, I'll tell all my friends about this when someone's like standing in line to buy a $90 Stanley at Dick's Sporting Goods. I'm like, dude, you could just get the $30 Hydro Flask from Amazon or whatever and save yourself. And it's like it's just as good, if not better, because it's not brand hype. But like I am a customer who will do the marketing for free for Hydro Flask because I've had a really good experience. And that is like the way that these big good projects do their marketing, like Polkadot, Cardano, Ethereum. These things don't market. Avalanche doesn't market. All of the people building stuff on Avalanche, all of these big games that are like launching on Avalanche, they do all of the marketing for Avalanche for them completely for free because it benefits them to do that.
Well, and here's the difference, I think, Alex, is that when you do it this way, the Supra way, you stop the loyalty. You are incentivizing people to be loyal to you for a reward. It is like
Yeah.
clicking a button and getting a treat. When the
Yeah.
tokens stop coming, most of these people who don't use the product, who don't understand why it matters to them personally, they're going to stop paying attention. They're going to stop talking about it. They may even start to talk badly about it. You saw this with a lot of like P profile projects. When this, when this, when this, when this. And conversely, if you build loyalty by helping somebody to understand like the purpose of their product in your life
Yep.
and then just
Yep.
giving them a means to maybe solve a problem or connect to a cause they care about, like it really doesn't matter that you haven't given them a monetary award. You have incentivized them to care in a totally different, much more sustainable, more powerful way. I think, no matter what Cardano does price wise, I'm like you, man. It's a project I have. If Charles dies tomorrow, we might have a problem. But I love watching the way they have cultivated a sort of movement within
Yeah.
their community that I think can be culty at times, but is mostly a pretty healthy cult. You know
But
what I
like
mean? That practicing good governance and stuff like that.
let's be honest here, Evan. Like the biggest, most like loyal brand followings are all a little bit culty,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Like Stanley is 100% a cult. You know what's really funny? This is funny.
Oh
Um,
no. I'm worried what you're going to say because of the intro you gave it. P.S. If you don't know, Alex has a wizard robe. So if you are looking for cult members who look like they're in a cult, obviously me, but definitely him too. Okay, what you got?
I wasn't getting a wizard robe. I was getting yet another coffee receptacle. But like I also have a Stanley, and it's incredible. It's also been on multiple deployments with me. This one was on a ship, not a helicopter.
Is it the one that's
But
got the handle, or is it just the solid torpedo?
no, it's just the steel with the
Yeah.
small, But what was really funny is I was talking. We were watching something with Jordan, and there was it was a TikTok that came across of like typical Stanley personalities, like these two TikTok comedians that are doing like the walking at each other, and I can't. I'll have to send it to you after, but it's like just making fun of the big dumb cup meme, and I was laughing at it, and Jordan's like, "Don't you have a Stanley?" And I was like, "Listen here, listen to me. It's not the same kind of Stanley, and you know that." But it's funny because I am now self-conscious about the fact that like that's a Stanley, even though the Stan Dog was like the pinnacle of great thermoses.
Yeah.
Um, it is funny.
So speaking of culty, really quick, let me give you a couple of housekeeping
Speaking of
announcements. If
cults,
you dig the
join
vibe of the
ours.
show, if you want to be in a cult, a community, or whatever you call it, of crypto people who aren't afraid to admit when they don't know something, who aren't going to try and sell you anything except the occasional coffee mug, and who, by the way, do free airdrops of things like awesome collectible POAPs, then what the heck are you doing? Why aren't you here? We're here Monday through Thursday. 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. And we also hang out in Discord, totally free to join. Come share what you know. Come ask your questions with the Faceless Many. It is a great place to accelerate your learning journey around crypto at discord.gg/the many. And all these episodes, they go up on Faceless Labs YouTube channel afterwards at faceless_labs. If you've got a question, you've got a comment, Cookie, thank you for the great dialogue, the back and forth. Thank you to Dave, to Tori, all the people who regularly come through. We're working on more ways that you can get involved, that you can meaningfully support the show. But it's a great community here that we have, and we would love for you to be a part of it. The simplest, easiest thing you can do that will cost you nothing is to tap the screen or to send this to a friend who is watching one of those influencers who is telling you what to buy this week, and next week is going to tell you he never said that, or they did, or they're going to, right? Those people, they need help. Their nephew Carl told them to buy Dogecoin, and they just need help. Okay, nothing wrong with Doge, but send them our way. See what it's like on the other side. If you've got a guest for the show, if you want to be on the show, all that stuff, get in the Discord, discord.gg/the many. Send us some messages there, get to know us, and of course, hang out with us here. We got a couple more minutes on today's show. I see we got another request for a project look, and then I want to, since we are talking about Gaming Week, if you're new, we explore a theme every week. That's kind of our format here. This week's theme is gaming. Wednesday is usually our back and forth question and answer day with folks in the audience, and Thursday tends to be a goofy day. So I was thinking about, if we don't have time, I'll share this tomorrow, but I touched on crypto the game last time. Did I tell you about that, Alex, a little bit?
Crypto, I'm trying to reply.
The game.
Yes,
it's not a game in the sense of like a console game, or but it is, PvP, IRL meets blockchain, survivor style gameplay. And it was thrilling. So if we don't have time today, will you remind me, and I'll tell people about it tomorrow, and we can just goof off about it.
Yeah.
Also for tomorrow, probably more than today, sperm game. Am I allowed to say sperm on TikTok?
Sperm. We're gonna find out. It wouldn't be the first time you've gotten the live flag.
I got that unrecommended. You want to hang out on a show where the host will get you, banned from shared with audiences. Oh man. Okay. All right. What am I for some reason
I couldn't reply to the SH3 comment. Dude, the SH3 is an absolutely epic platform. I was on MH65s, the little whistling shit cans, but a bunch of my friends were on the H860s. I've seen a couple Sea Kings. Never been in one, but that's like I was basically like riding on a leaf blower compared to a Sea King. Do you want to do? We could look at Reboot really quick. I know you have to go.
Yeah, I have time to look at Reboot here. I'm responding to a comment about the rest of your book collection. I might as well just say it out loud now. Alex is well read. You should see the rest of his book collection. He's got some good ones.
I am about 5% as well read as my wife, though. She is on like book 80 this year already, or something insane.
What?
Yeah,
I don't doubt it. Christine strikes me as one of those people who could read 80 books and call it February.
She reads.
Okay. So while we pull up Reboot, let me answer Quasar's question too, and I know you'll have thoughts on this. The question is, what are your thoughts on Gala performing well this bull cycle? Does the lawsuit affect it? And the short answer is, my thoughts on Gala are, Gala is going to need to attract. Beyond this lawsuit, absolutely the lawsuit affects it. I'm not professional enough, well read into the lawsuit enough to have a real weighty opinion on, does this lawsuit matter? The way like the Ripple lawsuit matters because it affects all of us. But I would say that just generally speaking, I think Gala did a lot of hype last time. And Alex, I really want to know your opinion as somebody who's building a game. It seems to me like the ecosystem is not as strong as the hype that precedes it, nor are people's experiences with it beyond their experiences as speculators with the token, right?
Yes, but I think Gala has a good platform to do well. I think they probably just need to like put a little bit more focus on really good gameplay and less focus on like their token ecosystem, which seems to be like that's the first thing that I always see when I'm like looking at Gala. It's like the same 4 games that we don't care about these anymore. Like if these games that have been around for 2 years now were going to do anything impactful or like be streamed or people make content about them or whatever, like they would have. So I think that's really the only thing that I see going wrong for Gala is they focus too much on not the gameplay. And when you go like read about them or talk about them, and I have a lot of friends who have either worked for Gala, or just were big fans of it. I never get the vibe that like it's about the games and good gameplay and a good player experience. It's like way more about a token environment and ecosystem, which is okay if that's what you do. But I think you're going to get absolutely dusted by these like big studios that are building like a game that is getting a ton of press for looking like a really good, like Shrapnel is going to eat the entire Gala ecosystem alive, without even really trying, because why wouldn't they? If you had a thing like Gala and then tomorrow Pal World decided to do anything Web3 related, it would absolutely decimate this entire ecosystem, like without even trying. Gala has burned through a tremendous amount of money, so that is another bit of a worry. However, with regard specifically to a lawsuit, I think crypto is one of those like inverse, the upside down realities where a lawsuit would probably help their case with their users.
Yeah, but listen to this. This is the lawsuit, and I wasn't well read on this. Can I read you in on the lawsuit?
Yeah, please. Okay. I don't know what the lawsuit is.
I didn't know either. I had heard about it, but this is a headline from Token Gamer. Gala Games lawsuit breakdown. Co-founders sue each other over $130 million theft and $600 million waste. So one of the co-founders, Eric Schermeyer, sues Wright Thurston over an alleged $130 million token theft and $600 million mismanagement. It's quite complicated.
Okay.
And sounds super petty.
I take it
somebody
back.
bought an airplane, spent the money on like crazy stuff, and didn't uphold their fiduciary duty. And it's like, I'm a rock star, I don't need to do this. And frankly, I hope something like this can happen to us someday, Alex. I would love to be in a $500 million lawsuit with you because you bought a private jet. Or maybe because I did. I don't know. I own an apartment in Dubai now with all our crypto money. Anyway, so that's the lawsuit. And let me just say this. Give you one more piece on it. Is the day after news about this lawsuit breaks. So lawsuit, bad for Gala, bad for the token because it's petty founder squabbling, but good for company. The day after this lawsuit breaks, their general counsel released a super simple, super concise, really compassionate response that frames the crisis as not a cause for concern. He's basically like, this is our founder's personal problem. This lawsuit has nothing to do with our company. We want to assure people that So best case scenario, they resolve the lawsuit some way. It gets them some extra attention. And the people who really run this company going forward, have better management of, could you imagine what we could do with $600 million?
No, I truly cannot even imagine. So the nature of that particular lawsuit changes my opinion entirely. They're fucked. I was imagining the classic crypto lawsuit, which is the Gary Genslers of the world trying to tell them that they're breaking the rules, and then all of us rallying behind them as our heroes.
Right.
Not a bunch of douchebags wasting money on each other. And that's a totally different story. Okay. There's a lot to discuss here with reboots. So we could totally come back and do some more reboot stuff tomorrow if we run out of time. But I will start to hit some of it. And I'm sorry, it doesn't look to me like
I don't know anything except I love their headline.
Yeah, no, I don't know anything about it either. I'm just doing the initial. Dude, it's really funny. This is actually a great movement like for this conversation because we just left Gala's website and now I'm on Reboots, and dude, it is night and day. Is Reboot better presenting than the way Gala was presenting?
Really?
Like, it's not even
Okay,
fucking
okay.
close.
I'll pull up one. You pull up the other. Let's do a flip real quick. You want me to get Gala?
Yeah. Um, and then real quick, it doesn't look to me like you have a username, but whoever you are that I'm talking about Epic Helicopters with, I was a BM at first, stationed on ships, and I did like law enforcement stuff in the Caribbean, counter drug, counter migrant. And then I left that and went to aviation, and I was an AMT. I'm not sure exactly what the Navy rate equivalent is, but I basically did no avionics. I was all power plant, transmission, hydraulics, flight controls, all that sort of stuff. So I did everything on the aircraft except for avionics.
I got their username, Alex. It's Tony is their name. I
I wonder why I
screenshotted
can't
it
see
for
it.
you so you can keep the conversation going.
Okay, that's
Okay, I've got Gala loading, and I'll be able to flip it here in a second,
okay.
and we can.
So
If you get the other one,
right away,
I agree with you. By the way, I think the
all
site's
right. Let
a
me.
thousand times better. I would be ashamed. I would be ashamed, but count on it. Boom.
Okay, so what I see when I look at Gala is a cheap looking ecosystem with like some thumbnails for some games that I would never click into if I just saw them in the App Store. I would
Yeah,
simply skip it. Every single one of those I would skip.
I
Um,
might play Battlestar Galactica Eternity personally, but
yeah,
yeah.
it's
By contrast, look at what Alex has got. They've got a great tagline: "No bullshit,
yep.
skill-based gaming that rewards contributors."
Well,
Love
and
it.
immediately I'm looking at gameplay footage, so I know exactly what I'm going to get into.
And
And
it's cool.
to make it even better, hey, I know him. So, like, a very
Yeah.
well known and talented streamer is playing this game and reviewing it and in there. So, like, I'm immediately
So smart.
invigorated to try this out because I love Bryson. And if Bryson thinks this game is cool, I'm definitely going to try it. So,
Yeah. And honestly, it just looks cool.
yeah.
Way cooler than whatever this sad cat game is.
Like I don't care at all about looking through a shittier app store to try to like sell me on some, lame games. This is like if this had just been presented like with this word, like just the picture of Battle Plan, which is the way Gala would have sold it to me, I would never have clicked into it. Um, but looking at this, I'm like, okay, it's kind of a minimal interface. It looks like an interesting, chaotic, ability spam team deathmatch kind of thing. So that's interesting. But again, like I said, Bryson's playing. There's clearly like something that you can do. Okay, so that's sweet. Oh, and I can play it from here right now, so I'll check that out. Um,
Honestly, that's. Oh, is it? Does it say games that fuck,
yep,
wins that matter? We got to show that to Mac.
dude,
It looks like something Mac would write. Honestly,
these
truly,
people these people are great. I
they get it.
first
They
first
totally get it.
impression as like an ecosystem for gamers is like this is already going so much better than the like grifty casino vibes that I get from Gala's homepage, which is not an
And let me show them this too. You get this right below the gameplay. You've got really prominent companies in crypto. 90cc, the Wolf
yep,
game. I don't know Battle Plan yet, but now I'm excited about it.
yep,
Punks, and I'm sure this is like the little what's a on-chain monkeys or
something.
something. So like you appeal not just to crypto people, but to like gamers who don't even know this stuff because you put your crypto brand underneath this frankly awesome gameplay. They're like, oh, great. These games I've never heard of will also be cool. Um, it's so smart. I would like to shake their hands. Who's on the team? That's what I want to know.
So I know
Get them on
you
the
were also
show.
mentioning that like the tokenomics left you a little wanting.
Yeah, I'm curious to know about that.
Here's the thing to just remember, and I know that this sounds a little bit hollow because obviously I am alone on a tiny island of people who care about what I'm about to say. Tokenomics don't fucking matter at all. What I mean by that feels like a statement that probably needs clarification and context.
Yeah, Daniel heard you and was summoned from the ether.
Dude, oh, there he is. I thought maybe I didn't see his comment before you said that, but the fact you said that and then like a second later the comment popped up, that was wild.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know how Daniel feels about it. It wouldn't surprise me if he felt the same that you.
It's all good.
Do, but go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
don't know Daniel's opinion on this, but I would hazard a guess that he may be inclined to agree with me just based on the way I've heard him talk about stuff. But tokenomics don't fucking matter because if you really strip it back and you think about a token, and I'm doing this stupid thing where I think about the token from a utilitarian standpoint and not an investment standpoint. I don't care about the investment at all. I'm trying to play good games here. I don't give a shit about the investment of the token. The only thing that matters is that you can acquire the currency, the in-game currency, whatever it is, and do meaningful things with it to advance your gameplay, and that you can acquire it by being a good, dedicated, loyal, helpful player, whatever that means. If you actually want a token to succeed in a game ecosystem and support the ecosystem and be useful and be helpful for players and be earnable so that they don't feel like they're running a goddamn marathon every time they want to upgrade one piece of armor, you have to make the token really easy to get. And you have to give it to every player. And you can't discriminate based on someone who doesn't have 18 hours to grind your game every single week. You have to just give the token to your players and let them mess around with it. That means, from a tokenomics standpoint, that your tokenomics are trash and that your game is not investable because the token's too easy to get and they're frivolously using it. Think about RuneScape Gold, okay? Don't fucking come at me and tell me that you can build a better in-game economy than RuneScape, which has been running for 20 years, and the inflation of RuneScape Gold is through the roof. It is third world country level inflation, okay? But it works because what you need to do to make the game playable for people is give them lots of gold and let them do stuff with the gold, okay? But I guarantee that RuneScape Gold, if they tokenized it, would do better than any shitcoin in half of these games. Just because what they focused on first was the utilitarian use case for the currency for players, not for investors. I'm interested in Web3 gaming because I want to see people optimize a project for the user in a way that will actually lead to adoption, not optimize the project for the investor in a way that will lead to a token spike and dump and then the project dying. And 99% of these things, this is exactly what I think about Supra, is that Supra might be an awesome project, but it is for a very, very, very tiny niche community within a niche community of developers. Games are just for people who like to have fun and play games. So the target audience is way bigger in a game than it is in a decentralized Oracle network or some data project or some whatever, right? So that's why tokenomics don't matter. So concrete, if you like the game and the game is cool and you think other games that they're going to do are cool, I personally wouldn't give two shits about something that presents from an investor standpoint as mediocre tokenomics on the game token. Because at the end of the day, the thing that's going to matter, the game that's going to crush, the game that's going to like stand the test of time and turn into something that can start to enter the Hall of Fame as far as games are concerned. The spoiler alert is that that's not going to be the one that had the best tokenomics. It's going to be the best game with the best player experience, with the best player community, the ones that the streamers play, the ones that their communities get hyped up about, the ones that have cool tournaments, cool prizes, cool skins, cool shit you can do, and the one that just like makes it so that players have a good time in there, not the ones that like made an investor happy because the token vesting schedule fit whatever bumper sticker they've been sold by someone trying to pump up them for an airdrop to make the price spike so that they can offload the token on a whole bunch of unsuspecting, people. That was a massive rant.
No, but it was good.
That's how I feel about tokenomics in games. It doesn't fucking matter.
And honestly, like today's show, this gets me excited for like the some of the airdrops that it might be good to take time to pursue. This gets me excited about blockchain gaming. I am really excited to check out Reboot. I can't tell you how cool that website looks. And you know, I would be into digging back into it tomorrow, trying to see who the team is, that kind of stuff. Maybe we can get them on
For
the
sure.
show. Um,
I'm gonna go
but
play the game.
I probably what's that?
I'm gonna go play the damn game.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. I probably got to think about hopping off. So let's talk about last impressions, last thoughts,
Yeah.
and let me say to everyone on the way out the door that tomorrow is POAP day. Thank you for being here today. If you like digital collectibles, you want your own NFT from the show, crafted art by none other than Mr. Alex Popovich, then you got to join tomorrow. Get the secret word, and of course, you got to redeem the secret word to get your link in the Discord. All of it is free. Just costs you a little bit of attention, and you can totally cheat and share this stuff with people. So work it out with your friends. Collect the POAPs. Who knows what utility they'll have in the future? At the very least, you get a cool collectible piece that proves you are one of the crew, one of the Faceless Many. So join us tomorrow, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. We'll be back to wrap up gaming week. Check out the Discord, discord.gg/the many, and find these recordings on YouTube at the end of the week at Faceless_Labs. Alex, am I rugged?
A little bit. Just the video. Your sound is good.
Okay, take us out there. Take us out there.
No, just Evan said it all. So tomorrow
Well,
we'll be
in
back.
that case, my glitchy friends.
Oh, God damn it, Evan. We made it so far.
You do it.
All right. What Evan was trying to say is that tomorrow we will be back at the same time in the same place to close out the week. We will cover anything we didn't have time for today. If you have projects you would like, Evan is running the show live streaming from his toaster. That is 100% accurate. Actually, my toaster is probably newer than Evan's phone, and I genuinely would not be surprised if my toaster was newer than Evan's phone. Yeah, the first goal of this show is to get enough sponsorship money so that we can buy Evan a device from this century, so that he can actually participate. But regardless,
I'll put that on our Patreon. Help Evan get a new phone tier.
Yeah, it's the only tier that matters. So anyway, we'll be back tomorrow. There will be a POAP. Like Evan was saying, it's totally free. If you don't have the POAP app on your phone, POAP, it's a free app that you can download. You don't need to make a wallet. You don't need to remember a seed phrase. You don't need to sign up for anything ridiculous. You can just get the app. It's really cool, and we do a free. It's a free POAP NFT token every week that you can collect. I have every intention of continuing to push and work on this. Evan and I have been doing this show for over a year now, and the token is just it's a really cool way, as I always say, to memorialize the fact that you did a thing by putting proof of the thing you did on a blockchain. The whole reason we're here, to use the technology and learn why it's cool and why it matters. So I think that, Evan, coming up we should do something for, like, what would be a cool one is the one time we did the secret POAP from the Twitter show last year.
Yeah.
Because I know for a fact that very few people have that one. Just to kind of prove, like, we could use that as a proof of concept, like why is the POAP a cool thing? So anyway, we'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Get your free POAP, listen to us rant and ramble, and we'll talk more gaming stuff, more crypto stuff. Bring your questions. We could do more of these. These are fun. I like doing the project first impressions, and this wasn't a deep dive by any means. This was like, look at the front page of the website and then ramble about what makes me angry about it. But you know what? It's still fun.
Absolutely.
Anyway,
I love doing it with you, man. I love doing it with everybody here. So thank you.
Of course. Well, I am well met, my friend.
Then I guess all that's left to say is, until next time, my friends, Rise up.